I've been wanting to do one of these videos for a while now. Is competition shooting the best bang for buck training? In my opinion, yes. However, we're going to cover a few points. Hopefully I can sway your decision, get more people out, get more people competing. It doesn't even have to be for an actual score, but just for yourself, just to get better. And I think it's the cheapest alternative you can do outside of dry firing, something of that nature, except you don't get to pick the parameters. So to start that off with, learning to shoot is not what a competition's for, right? You would want to go to a training class. There's plenty of good training classes. Any local range should have one. Some even offer, if you buy a handgun, they'll have like a basic handgun class where you like learn how to use it, learn the functions of it, how it works, the ins and outs, how to clean it. So the benefits, in my opinion, are astronomical. You're going to meet a lot of people, the camaraderie, other people just trying to learn to shoot well, and get better. Like truly, the main goal is to get better, more proficient, things of that nature. So when I started competing in 2019, I started in two gun. Dustin Pluth started running classes here in St. Louis, or competitions in St. Louis. Two gun matches. You did dump the rifle or pistol. It was typically dumping the rifle, but it was kind of similar to PCSL, USPSA style, but more of an outlaw type deal. It was at an indoor range, different stages set up, ton of fun, but that's where I kind of fell in love with it. And ultimately, like, wanted to dive in more. Shortly after 2019, we had COVID. So for over a year, I wasn't able to at all. And then I found TSA, which is Tactical Shooting Association, which was based out of Illinois. And that really got me going. So fast forward a year or two ago, TSA isn't able to operate at the same range that we are able to. Still looking for a range to operate out of. Look up tacticalshootingassociation.com to get more info on what that is specifically. However, I kind of dove into IDPA. So IDPA, there's matches, one or maybe even two per week, at least in my area. So for me, that was like huge. I can shoot consistently. 9mm isn't as expensive as rifle ammo. So that's kind of where I've had my focus shifted to. Started out classified as a sharpshooter, and then I ranked up at the last Illinois match to expert, which expert's one below master, master's one below distinguished master. But the only way to get distinguished master is to win nationals, and not to bore you with all the details of just IDPA, but ultimately what you need, where you can find it, things of that nature, because a normal training class is anywhere from like $75 to like $2,500. And that's a very broad range, but I've seen both on each end of that spectrum. Most are going to fall into like the $100 to $200 range, with some going up to $400. Now, don't get me wrong, matches can definitely get up there as well, but local matches typically don't. A local match is anywhere from 15 to 30 bucks, and usually around a 100 round count minimum. So you obviously always want to bring more, but you could walk into any range and get everything that you need to compete that day if you didn't have a firearm at all. So like the minimum, for example, eye protection, ear protection, a good belt, good holster. You don't need mag holders. You could technically pocket them. Ammo, I would recommend 3 magazines, obviously a firearm, and best of all, a good attitude and a willingness to learn. So for example, you could show up with a Glock. This is a Glock 45, optics ready. So this would be carry optics division. You could show up with a Glock 43, like literally just a normal basic Glock 43, or you could go on the higher end and get a staccato. I mean, it's not going to matter either way. There's also PCC divisions. I don't have a current PCC rifle, so I haven't tried that yet, but it's a lot of fun. So ultimately, it doesn't matter. There's a division for you, and that's across any platform, right? So USPSA, PCSL, Outlaw, IDPA, two gun, anything of that nature. But the great part about it is you can walk in any range, you should be able to at least, and at least get everything you'd need to compete that day if you had to. Biggest thing, safety. Safety across the board. Safety, safety, safety. So why do I think they're the best bang for buck? I kind of already said it, but there's one at least one a week in my area, St. Louis area. You may have to drive up to an hour, but either way, one a week. They're usually about 3 hours long. And again, usually 15 to 30 bucks. And you have somebody setting up anywhere from 4 to 6 stages for you. So as far as training goes, you don't get to pick. Like, you can't just be like, oh man, I don't really want to do left leaning peaks. Well, too bad. That's part of the stage. If you don't do it, you're going to get knocked. Similar to like, if you go to a gym, right? If you're going to a gym, if you go by yourself, you can talk yourself out of doing legs if you really wanted to. But friends don't let friends skip leg day. So I don't let you skip anything in competition training because you're just going to do it. So the match director actually will set up the match. It'll have things you hate, things you're good at, but ultimately you're going to work on a full set of skills. And that'll be drawing from holster, maybe drawing from concealment, leaning, peeking, kneeling, potentially even laying down. There's a million different things that could happen because a lot of it's scenario based. You can go fast, you can go slow. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. The biggest thing I would take away is just learn and try to beat yourself. So to kind of give an understanding, this would be like a carry optics gun for IDPA. I don't know the full PCSL or USPSA classifications, but you'd be competing against your classification and division. So division would be the gun, classification would be A, B, C, or D for USPSA, and then master, expert, sharpshooter, marksman, novice. But you're ultimately competing against yourself. Yes, it looks cool to beat your friends, but at the end of the day, if you're learning and getting better, that to me is the best training course you can get, especially for that price. It's in a 3-hour window, you can do a lot, and you're not spending much money to do it. Especially when it comes to shooting, everybody knows how expensive that can get. So when you sign up for a match, what do? You sign up on Practice Score, typically. You walk into the range that day with a cased, unloaded, or holstered firearm, preferably all three. And you walk in and you'll pay for the match, and then you'll just ask where the sitting area is or where the waiting room is. They're going to have a new shooters meeting if you haven't been to one, and there's always going to be a spot for you to go, whether that means just hanging out in the store or going down to the bay. Everything's going to be a cold range. That's just how it is, which means gun unloaded, holstered, or bagged, and you wait for the start. And then so you'll go over a stage briefing, what you're supposed to do, and typically there's a walkthrough. Certain disciplines don't allow it, which is fine. But once you do that, the match starts. So you'll have somebody running a tablet and a timer, and those are going to be your main point of contact. You don't want to ask questions when they're about to run somebody, but before your run, ask away. Ask other shooters. There's going to be a lot of people that know more than you. And if you're at a place where you know the most, you need to find a new place so you can also learn, right? Ultimately. So after that, just learn and have fun. So depending on the discipline, again, I would recommend reviewing the guidebook, whether that be USPSA, IDPA, PCSL, anything. Again, I keep saying them all over again, but look online for the rules and the guidelines of how matches are ran, the rules for your division. In level 1 matches, typically they don't care too much, but if you ever decide to go to a national match or a higher level match, you will need to know that because there are equipment checks and things of that nature. Biggest thing is safety, as I feel like I've said a bunch, but be safe. Be safe. Whether that means you're going slow, fast, whatever, be safe. Because at the end of the day, nothing's fun if somebody gets hurt, somebody's injured, something breaks. It doesn't look good either. But watch others and see how they run the stage. See what they're doing, and then compare that to your game plan. Or even if you had a game plan, just watch and just, again, learn. You're going to learn a lot about how different peaks, different areas, different things are more beneficial than if you just step out in front of 4 targets, 4 bad guys, whatever scenario you want to make it. You want to do the right thing or the most safe thing, truly. So unless you're doing it for the gram, I would say go slow, especially in your first match. If you're doing it for the gram, just send it, but again, safely. So a few of my setups after shooting IDPA for a little over actually just a year now. I started in last October. Last match I ran the Glock 43 with just some Shield Arms mags. I usually have a Kerber Arms holster of some point. This is a Soccer 2.0 light bearing. I'm very thankful for Jeff. I've used his holsters for years now, and I'm very thankful to be sponsored by them. But they use Bolteron, which is superior to Kydex. I also run their competition holsters. So this is the main one I usually run. This one actually I cut for my Ace VR, which will be upcoming in another video, which is sick. But this is the Osprey competition. Absolutely love them. They're great. I use a Next belt, which is like a ratcheting belt system. I actually don't have that down here, and I don't have my Hunter Constantine, but if you're running inside waistband and you don't have a Hunter Constantine belt, I'm not kidding. Worth the money. I didn't pay for mine because mine came from a match, but game changer. They're around $100, but like I promise you, it's the most comfortable I've ever been when I've had to carry. So game changer. For IDPA, you're supposed to have some sort of cover, whether that's defensive or whatever. They call them shoot me first vests. Again, I guess all my stuff's out in my car, so I didn't prepare for this very well. But I use a 511 vest. Just goes right over. Very standard. Or you can just use a hoodie, a shirt, whatever. It just has to be concealed in some point for at least IDPA. USPSA, other ones, they don't require that, so no worries there. I run Sword and Supreme Pro X LEDs. Not a requirement. You can use passive. It truly does not matter. Just those are my favorite. I run Heatwave Visual Vector XLs, I think they are, for anytime I'm outdoor sunny. They're Z87 rated, and then I run Edge Overlords for indoor. They're clear, but they also have a coating on them so that they don't fog up. And then for magazine holders, I also run Kerber Arms. Again, thank you, Jeff. But you can pocket mags if you wanted to. I don't recommend that only because for competition's sake, it's going to take longer. But for day-to-day, if that's what you do, that's what you do. So this is a lot of info, a lot of basic info. If there's anything that you want me to dive in on or touch on, anything I can help with, please let me know. Please reach out. All my social media channels are open. If you're around the St. Louis area, I'd love to shoot with you. Please come to a match. Reach out if you can't find one. I shoot a lot of two-gun, whether that be traveling. We're going out to Hallsville next week or next Sunday for a two-gun match. And then IDPA on Tuesday, there's a drill night at Sharpshooter, which is going to be dope. But either way, I'd love to shoot a match. Love to meet you. Come on out. Let's have some fun, some safe fun, and learn to be better with firearms. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know. My name's Cam. As always, subscribe, like, I don't care what order. Please, helps me a lot. And also, I got a notification today from the Gundies that I'm nominated for one of the Breakout Creators of the Year. So December 1st, vote, please, for me, for Gentleman Gunner, really anybody. It's awesome for the industry, truly. So thank you to the Gundies, and thank you to everybody, and I will see you soon. Bye.